What up, Winbush here. And today I want to show you how to get the MegaLights set up in Unreal Engine 5.5. Now, it's to my understanding that you're really going to get the benefit from this if you have maybe like hundreds of lights in your scene and primarily used for gameplay. But I wanted to show you how you can get it set up, giving you the fundamentals of how to set everything up inside your scene, and then get it running inside of a sequencer in case you're somebody that renders out of Unreal Engine like myself. So if we're looking inside of Unreal Engine 5.5 right now, inside my test scene that I had set up, you can see I have Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles running inside of a TV screen, and we have reflection going on the ground here. We have it going on the bulb, and we have exponential height fog. But not only that, it's not running inside of gameplay. We're actually running this through the sequencers. So I'm going to show you exactly how to do this off from scratch so you can build the same thing running inside the sequencer as you see down below. So to get started, I have my scene set up. I just have the TV and the floor in here, nothing else. And so what we want to do is come up here to where it says edit. I'm going to come down here to project settings. So now we have this tab opened up, and what we want to do is over here on the left hand side, we're going to scroll down until we find rendering, which would be right here on the left. So we're going to click on this, and then we're going to scroll down until we see MegaLights. Like, we can't search for it here, but I want to show you exactly where it's at just in case you want to go through manually and set it up. Plus, you also want to make sure that you have hardware ray tracing enabled, which is going to be right here. So direct lighting is where we're going to set up the MegaLights. So you want to make sure you turn this on inside your scene. And then right here where it says hardware ray tracing, it's on by default because I'm using a template for motion graphics and live events, but you want to make sure you have this turned on if it's not turned on there. And then that's all you have to do there. So I'm going to exit this out, and now let's set up the video file that we're going to be having playing inside of our TV. So I do have a folder down here inside of my content browser called video, and I'm going to double click on this. And with my Windows Explorer open up, I have an MP4 file here that's just called TMNT. I'm actually using the file from Shredder's Revenge. I just recorded it when I did some gameplay, but I'm just going to click and drag that into my content browser down here, and you should see it pop up with this TV set. So now what I'm going to do is right click, and I'm going to come over here to media, and we want to add a media player. Now this is going to pop up saying create media player. We want to turn this on because we do want to make a video texture whenever we get this set up, and then I'm going to click OK. So now it's going to say new media player, and I could just name this one TMNT underscore TV, or actually media player, like that. And then if I double click on this right here, the media player, it's going to pop up with this right here. And if I double click down here, this is going to start playing our video. Now I recorded this at 60 frames per second, so you should see it come up down there. And that's all we're going to have to do. So I'm just going to click on save up here, and that's going to be it for that setup. And now we're going to have our media texture pop up down here. We see Bebop and Rocksteady. And the next thing we want to do from here is turn this into a material, but we can easily just click and drag and drop it onto our TV. So if I look at my TV, I got this from polyhaven.com if you want to get the same exact one, but I split it up inside of Cinema 4D so that I had two material elements. And so I have the TV set on the outside here. Let me zoom in here a little bit so we can see it closer, just like that. And then I have a separate material element for the TV screen, which is right here. So if I take my media texture, I'm going to left click, hold down, and just drag it over the white area here that I have set up for my screen. Now you can see it's actually inside of our TV set, but it's extremely light and extremely dim. So if I come down here, you should see that it now made a material for us, and I'm going to double click on this, and then I'm going to right click and hold over just a little bit, because what I want to do is take the RGB right here, and I'm going to click and drag it into emissive color, and that's going to brighten it up. Now if you want to have more control over it, if I hold down the M key on my keyboard, left click, that's going to bring up a multiplier, and I can take the RGB through the multiplier and then bring this to emissive color. And down here under B, this is where you can actually adjust it. So if I make it 0.1, you can see it's a lot dimmer. Then let's crank this up to maybe like 10. Now you can see it's a lot brighter. So that's just if you want to go through and manually adjust it, but we're going to add it as a light, and that's going to give us more flexibility with our lighting and our shadows and our reflections. So I click save up there in the top left hand corner. Now I'm just going to exit this out. And now you can see it's a lot brighter inside of our TV set. We do have some reflections down here, but we could get better reflections down here, right? But before we do that, we're going to set up a post-process volume to make sure our lighting is a little bit more accurate. So over here in the top left, where we have this cube with a green plus sign, I'm going to left click on this, and then I'm going to come down here to visual effects, and I'm going to add a post-process volume. Now with this inside of my scene, I'm going to scroll up here, and I'm just going to zero this out right here inside the location. It doesn't really matter, because if I come over here to where we have search and I type in UNB, that's going to bring up infinite extent unbound, in which if I click this on, And that's just going to make sure that no matter what we do inside of our post-process volume, it's going to engulf our entire scene. So down here under exposure, I'm going to first turn on composure composition, just in case I want to mess with that later. But then down here under min 100 and max 100, we want to put these at 1. So you can see now we're at 1. We don't have to worry about the light adjustment or anything with our exposure. And if you wanted to bring this up a little bit more, you could do so, but I'm just going to leave this at 1 for my scene here. And the other important thing is right here under skylight, the reason that we're still seeing the light in here is because under skylight, I do have a cube map down here from my HDR. So if I would go through and I'd actually put this back to capture a scene, you can see now the only thing that we see glowing is the TV screen. So that's another tip under skylight. If you come down here under source type where it says captured scene, if you come down here to cube map, you can actually use HDRs to light your scene in there, which I'm just using one of the default ones that come with Unreal Engine, which is the Circus Maximus _2 4K. Now the next thing we want to do is add a rectangular light so we can get some better reflection using our material that we just made down here. So again, I'm going to come up to this cube. This is quickly add the project, left click on this, then I'm going to come down to lights, and then I'm going to click on rectangular light. Now you should see this pop up inside of your scene. Again, I'm going to zero it out. And then I'm just going to scroll up here and just move it so that we're more centered with our TV. As you can see, now it's really reflecting off the TV. And we're going to want to turn this around. Actually, let's just make this one 180. So I went down here, set up a transform under rotation, where it's blue, make this 180. And then we're just going to adjust it to fit inside of our TV a little bit better. So let me scroll around here a little bit. I'm not going to spend too much time on it, but I just want to make it as realistic as possible. So down here where it says source width inside of my details panel, I'm just going to move this out a little bit just so it engulfs the TV screen a little bit better there. And then for the height, same thing. Just going to scroll this up for the height. And then for the barn door length, we can actually scroll this down just a tad bit there. And that should be good. So let me scroll out so we can actually see it hitting the reflection off the ground. The light is just bright white, and we actually want to use our texture instead of our source texture slot right here. So we're going to come over here to where it says media texture. I'm going to left click on this and I'm going to drag it under source texture. And now you can see that it engulfs our scene down there. And if I come under search while I still have this selected and type in Mega, you can see that by default, we automatically have the Mega lights turned on. But for shadow method, it's on default. And I'm going to put it on ray tracing, which is going to give us a little bit better shadows. Then I'm going to exit this out, and under mobility, I want to put it on movable because the Mega lights do support movable lights. So I want to make sure I turn that on. And now the next thing from here is let's actually make this so it can play back inside of our screen here. So in order to do that, what we're going to do is come up here to our clipboard, which is at the very top. I'm going to left click on this. I'm going to come down here to where it says add level sequence. So with this opened up, I'm just going to name this one TMMT _ sequence like so. And then I'm going to click on save. And now you can see that we have our sequencer down here at the bottom. Now I'm going to make this 60 frames per second because that's what I captured at. And then right here where it says add on the left hand side, I'm going to left click on this and I'm going to look for media track, which is down here at the bottom. I'm going to left click on this. And right here, there's a plus symbol. I'm going to left click on this as well. Then I'm going to come to media source and I'm just going to click on the one that we have here for TMMT. So left click on this media source, and now we have it inside of our sequencer, but you might notice if I play it, nothing is still happening. We just have to activate it, in which if I come right here and I right click, then come over here under properties, down here where it says media texture, we want to make sure that we have our Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle media texture in there. So I'm going to scroll it down until we actually see the thumbnail for it. There we go, Bebop and Rocksteady. Left click on it right there. And that's all we're going to have to do. So now when I click play, now you can see it's actually playing back inside of our screen here. So I can make this a lot longer. I'm just going to left click and drag over with my mouse because we have a full sequence in here. Come all the way down here to the end. And I'm going to click on the end mark. Now if I click play, now we can see the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles in all its glory playing with the Mega lights inside of our screen here. Now I'm going to come up here and I'm just going to add a sphere. So I'm going to come down here under shapes and I'm going to add a sphere, zero it out so I can move it more inside of my scene, because I do want to show you something that I noticed whenever messing with the Mega lights here. So I'm not sure if you could tell with the YouTube compression. Let me pull in here a little bit more, but you see the facade here on my sphere. I noticed that if I come over here under post-process volume and then I come down here, actually let me scroll down inside of it so you see where it's at. So it's down here at the bottom under rendering features. we have mega lights inside of post-process volume. Now, if I activate this and then turn it off, now you can see we have a smooth circle or a sphere, sorry about that. But if I turn it on, now you see we have a facade. Now I know MegaLights is inside of experimental mode right now, so I'm not sure if that's just something that comes with that territory. But if we add a texture to it, that should fix it up. So I'm going to come down here inside of my fab folder. And I'm just going to use the same material that I used for the ground here. Just click and throw it onto the sphere, and we don't see anything nevertheless. Now, another cool functionality of the MegaLights is it does work with fog. So if I come over here in the top left, come down here under visual effects, I'm going to add exponential height fog. Then I'm going to make sure instead of my details panel to activate it as well. So where it says fog density, I'm going to click on 1, and then I'm going to scroll down here, and we need to activate the volume fog. So right here, I'm going to click on this. Now, if I come through and play it inside my sequencer, you can see that we have a really nice effect playing inside of here that's playing inside of our fog. Now, I know this is an extreme example of the fog. Maybe if I come over here and do more like 0.1, where it's going to be a little bit more realistic, maybe 0.2, we're still getting the nice feedback from the fog. We're getting nice bouncing off the lighting, off the ground, and we're getting some nice shadows in here as well. So once again, my name is Jonathan Winbush. Subscribe if you're new. Till next time, stay fresh, keep creating, and I'll catch you in that next video. I'll see you soon. Take care.